All. Again, we are on Veritas, and today our session is very significant. We are going to discuss on a very special subject on the IT health of Bengal or Bengal's IT health. As we know, that information technology as a project had come to the shores of Bengal in 1980s, but rejected thrice. Then it went back to Bangalore, and now we can see the spectacular success of Bangalore, followed by Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, and various others. But it's also true that in between 2006 and 2010, there had been a surge in Bengal's IT industry. Well, what we learned from newspaper reports at the time that Bengal was in that position that could challenge the other IT centers of the country, namely Bangalore and Hyderabad. But nowadays, we do find, or we do hear that Bengal's economy is in a very solid state. And along with this solid state, it includes the IT industry as well. So we do want to know what's the situation of IT industry now, what are its prospects, and whether Bengal has still a chance to come up once more to challenge the other centers in India. Discuss on all this, we have a very special guest with us. We have Professor Dhrubasish of Amit University. Welcome, Professor Sarkar, to our very show.
Yes.
We are delighted to have you in this evening. I would like to know many things from you, sir, that is in your discipline. And since this show is going to be watched by many people, including the students, researchers, and the future, the wannabe technocrats and other things, for that reason, I think we should start the discussion now. So, my first question to you: how is Bengal? How is it faring?
First of all, thank you, Mr. Chakraborty, you and your entire team for an honor for me to be invited here as a speaker and to share my little knowledge, which I have acquired in last couple of 20 years in this profession, more than 25 years. And definitely, it's a pleasure to share my little knowledge that I have. I'll try to focus whatever answers I'll give against your questions, mostly based on my experience, my learning over the years. Definitely, the listeners, the audience, can get more statistics from by like Google in a fingertip. I'll try to explain like what are the current situation, what I have seen over last 25 years in various sectors wherever I have worked or I got the chance to serve. So to address your first question, I'll just request you if you could just repeat once more because it was not audible to me properly. So
okay. Well, sir, my first question to you is: how is Bengal's IT industry at the moment?
If you see the growth of the Bengal IT industry since 1990, if I take a reference, because at that point of time I was a school student, I have passed the school and then was looking for that in which domain will take the career. And to be very honest, at that point of time, we did not have much option. Either the very good students of the schools and other places, they are looking for engineering or medical or conventional programs like BA, BSc, BCom, like a graduate programs. So IT since 1990, due to the economical, you all of us, we know that there was a revolution at that point of time in economy throughout the globe. There is a global economy. And then the market was open. The market of India was open for other companies of foreign countries, so as the market of their countries, of those countries, were open for us too. And then IT, like although IT initiative has been started prior to that, but then we mean to say that IT initiative that is from 1990s, and then the process has been started. Since then, Gradually, initially at that point of time, definitely we did not have much scope to study here. But I'll not blame anyone for that. Maybe some of the time, if you look at the history, we'll see that different country leaders take different time to perceive, to understand that its value, because it was a very new technology. Since then, gradually, like as at that point of time, we have seen during our school days that many students who did not get chance here to study, they went to other state to study. Maybe other state could utilize at that point of time. But then we very soon our government also have realized that we must have such kind of setup here. Look, only setting up the industry will not solve the purpose until or unless you can produce the required talent, like basically locally. Otherwise, you cannot get a benefit of it. So immediately the government has taken step at that point of time, and then government has opened the door for the private education here, but primarily in engineering education. Slowly, we have seen that many good colleges, colleges not only in Bengal, good colleges respect to the country also, private initiative has been set up along with some of the institution with government support. And then gradually after that, the next in the next 10 to 15 years, like from 2010, we have seen that few private universities also and few other institutions like Tulati Kolani is one of the very premier institution to name, and other engineering colleges, institutions, they have opened the door for the students. This is from the basically from the education perspective. If we look into the service sector or the product sector of IT, that is the deliverable from the IT sector, equally government has taken initiative. Yes, if we go back 20, 30 years back, there were very few companies who had presence in our state. But now, if you name any big companies, whether it's in consulting or IT business, product, IT service, gradually, like our state is getting focused. Many IT park has been established, and we have seen that even if I look from the students' choice perspective also, I have seen even like from my own experience that I have seen many of my students to start with after the graduation, and then we say 7 to 8 or 10 years of time. Great hope in coming days also in that. I hope I could address your questions that you have asked.
Fine, sir. Thank you. So, what we would like to know. So, is there any difference between the state endorsements? Take, for example, we do hear that the other states' encouragement for IIT is much more than that of Bengal, and since for that reason there are lots of differences in means of institutes, technical advances, and the job prospects. Do you think there is much difference between this Bengal and the other states?
In reality, if you ask me, I do not find much difference as of now. Yes, if I go back 30 years back, as I have mentioned, there were certain differences because we took some time to realize the potential of IT. But as of now, if you go through the different kind of rating agencies, say suppose NIRF or others, our many good colleges are being placed there. And not only that, in the global arena, if you see, if you name any companies throughout the country, abroad, I think we can, the students from Bengal who have passed out in recently or like recent past or a couple of years back, they are very much prominent. Yes, look, like economy and other parameter sometimes are the factor to decide or to understand that what can be the potential of a technology. Yes, it's true that long back we took some time, we were a bit hesitant to understand the potential of IT, but then very soon, as soon as the government realized, say from 95, 97, government is giving focus gradually, and nowadays I think like thousands of IT companies are there in Bengal. So as of now, if you ask me in today's time, I don't find much difference for a student's perspective to study in Bengal or to study in outside. Yes, there are some large investment yet to take place, and I'm sure in next few years time. So suppose if I'm talking about the like the basically hardware part, like the IT fabricate, like the device fabrication, that is a processor, or the basically electronic industry we are talking about. I'm sure in next 2-3 years time, some of the companies are coming very soon. They are coming to and to Bengal, and they will set up. As far as the IT service and products are concerned, I don't find any difference here. I mean, that is the discussion I had regularly. We interact with the expert not only from other part of the country, but from other countries also. So the interaction I had, they are very happy with the deliverables they are getting from our state as of now.
Fine. So what's the rank of Bengal at the moment in the All India scenario?
If you are talking about IT industry producing IT resource, like there are two aspects. One is that the product producing IT resources, like producing students. Definitely, there's a scope of controversy also. I'll introduce that point, and this is not only applicable for Bengal, this is throughout the country also. And another one is that utilizing them. 2 years back, when pandemic came, at that point of time, that was one attack to all the industries. But then IT is one of the industry which has utilized that in a positive sense. Nowadays, I know many of my friends who are sitting not only in Calcutta. I know some of my students who are sitting 200 kilometers away from Kolkata. Say suppose in a rural village in Bengal, say in Midnapur district or in Birbhum, and who are serving their client who are in Australia, Canada, or US. So this is how the infrastructure. It is only possible not only because of we have the resources, we have such kind of infrastructure from those villages are also. Yes, definitely there's a scope of improvement there. 5G has been introduced. It's now the responsibility of both the government, central government and state government, to spread 4G and 5G to spread across the country in a true sense. If you are looking for the exports and others, yes, the figure is as easily available from net. We can take a reference of that. But as far as the IT sector is concerned, I think we are among top 5 in the country now, even like better than that.
So we are among the top 5, but are we the one? Are we the number one, or what? Are we yet to be the number one, sir?
Producing IT resources, we are the number 1. Utilizing the resources fully, I think it will be taking another 2-3 years. I think by 2025 we can be the best country, even in the IT sector.
Fine. But sir, this is indeed spectacular, since what we hear to on every day that Bengal is there on declination. Sir fuels, Professor Sarkar fuels optimism among us, and we are very glad to hear that. But sir, if we take the corporate investments into considerations, we have learned that Pune, Bangalore, Hyderabad do attract a huge number of corporate investments on each and every year. So what is the position, and how is Calcutta faring? So this is a very cutthroat competition. In this competition, there must be the good warriors, and the best warriors draw the best benefits. So in that case, how is Calcutta going against these sectors of Bombay, Pune, Chennai, Hyderabad, and Bengal?
Okay, if you go by the investment that has been promised or that has been initiated by the IT companies in the last 4 to 5 years, you'll be getting not only all the big giant company. You can name any company from the consulting sector, from the development sector, both service and product. Each and everybody is having the presence. Very recently, the giant organization in India and abroad, suppose Adani Group, they have started to invest. They have already set up their like AI hub here. and possibly they are planning to transfer their R&D section here. All the giant companies considering with TCS is in their largest research like an innovation cell here. So I do not think, look, like in reality what you see and the tendency of the people that matters. Like there's a term that we learn in computational social science, that is basically the hard behavior. So for example, you have seen there are two restaurants. You knew that one restaurant is good. You had taken a mental plan to visit there. Then after reaching there, you have seen that people are going to second restaurant without knowing much about that. You are also going there. So that is basically, we refer it as a herd behavior. So such kind of behavior I've seen while I talk to the parents, particularly the parents of the or the guardian of the students. I think because I'm lucky now. I'm lucky enough to my present organizations that we are getting the student across from all the states of our country. Not only from all the states, we get few foreign students also as our student. And while I am talking to them, like if you name few other countries, suppose Pune or Bangalore, if you take the name of those cities, there are many students who are only studying in Kolkata. Not only they're studying computer science and IT science disciplines. So while I talk to them, like whatever whatever we hear from the people, that is a myth, not in like reality.
Okay,
Rather,
fine.
if I go by the placement of my students in last 2-3 years, I've seen like the majority of them are placed in Kolkata and by the giant IT company, been offered very big package. Now, if I'm taking about this, suppose somebody is getting chance in Microsoft Research. So Microsoft Research, they have started their center one in, say, suppose Bangalore. Now they'll be taking some time to come here. But again, they are also planning to come here. So that much time, that much patience people have to give. Another advantage for the IT companies here is that IT knowledge worker are cheap compared to other state. Not only that, if you look for the living cost of a person, the amount you need to pay to stay nearby to sector 5 or nearby to, say, suppose like Rajarhat in Kolkata for an IT professional, it is much better than a person need to pay in Bangalore or in Pune. So if you see that also, then I think this is a competitive advantage for us. I don't find that, and I'm sure in next 2-3 years time there will be a basically radical change. We are already doing good, but I'm sure we'll be doing best in the days to come, in near future.
So just now you have said that Microsoft is going to come. But my question is, why is not the Calcutta is the first destination of Microsoft in India? Why is going to come the second time? Why haven't we been able
that is what
to be the first?
that is yes, it's a very right question that I wanted to actually like start my next discussion from here. The problem is that, as I have already mentioned, that initially long back we took some time to understand the potential of IT. Okay, there were many confusion. Without going into controversy, am I audible? Hello, we're going to the much controversy. Like we all know that basically we have started our IT journey or the journey in the field of computer science or in IT much later. So maybe that is one of the reason for some of the initial investment we could not get in our state. But then right now all the companies, they are showing the full potential to start their business here, and I'm sure that some of the companies that I have mentioned.
Sorry, sir, I got detached. I'm very sorry. Sir. Can you say why? Okay, fine, sir. I got detached. I'm very sorry for that. Sir, I was just asking, that why isn't Microsoft the first destination? I'm sorry, why Calcutta is not the first destination of Microsoft till now?
This is only because of whatever I understand from my little knowledge is basically we have started our IT journey are much later compared to other states that I have already mentioned. So suppose if I go back at 1990s, at that point of time, we did not have much scope as far as the development is concerned, as far as the education is concerned. So Microsoft and others, any giant organization, they will look for two things. Look, for IT industry, one advantage is that the service or the product is being produced in one place and that is being served in other part of the country. So setting up the business is not a challenge. The challenge is that to have that basically the knowledge pool. So initially, as we have started a bit late, so every investor try to get the ready-made, and that point of time there was a tendency, all of us, with that we were going to some of the cities without naming them. I think all of us will understand. So for those companies that were the easy destination, but right now they have seen that while we could retain our strengths in our state, if I talk about that the good resources, good students, the scholars, they are mostly staying. I'm not telling all, but then they're mostly staying in our state nowadays. That is a reason forcing, rather in other sense, other organizations. So suppose big companies like the Reliance, Accenture, Adani, they're coming to Bengal, and they have already invested, and they are having a big plan in next. Very soon they will be they are having big investment plan.
Well, sir, have they started to make investments only?
Pardon?
Have they started to make big investments in the IT sector already, or are there some lofty assurances that they would make good investments in the coming days?
Some of the companies they already have started. So suppose that is what I'm telling. If you are taking about the consulting firms, PwC is here. You can take that Ernst and Young GDS is here having strong presence. If you are taking that the Deloitte, they are also having a strong presence. So each and every all those big four consulting, they are having presence. Yes, some of them they have started early, so they are having presence in greater scale. Some of them have started say a couple of. If you are talking about giant IT companies, Indian, so suppose Indian, all four companies we are having. Other than that, we have a strong presence of IBM here. We have strong presence of Accenture here. So and it's not only they are having strong presence, they are having the plan to spread even not only in Kolkata but also in other IT parks. That is a good. Like earlier, say suppose 10 years back, that the focus was only in sector 5, or say suppose sector 5 and Newtown, or basically Razarhat. But then now this business has been spread across the state, and not only that, because of that good infrastructure, now an employee who is serving Amazon, say US, can serve the company sitting at his house, say 200 kilometers away from here in a district of Purulia. So this is, I think,
that's fine. That's fine,
something to
something. It's a great thing to appreciate. It's a great appreciable. You must appreciate it. So I must take the pleasure of stating that Suscan Technologies Limited has started its automotive innovation hub for automotive in the city as well, Suscan Technologies. But there is also a point, sir. Till this moment, Qualcomm, Samsung, Apple, Bosch, Continental, all these giant IT companies are yet to arrive in the state. Is also true, don't you think? What can be the reason for this delayed journey? What can be the reason?
Now that is because we have started our race a bit late. That is what that is whatever I feel.
Okay.
They companies like Google, Microsoft, they are trying to use the potential of this digitization, and what they are planning that they will not have such kind of conventional office setup kind of thing. They are actually planning for say people can serve their organization across the globe, and they have already started such kind of practices. So I know that the employee working in those organizations who are still in my city, and then they are serving. So in that sense, the investment now will not be a location based. That is only in the IT and consulting business.
So in this matter, what is the current investment of IT in Bengal and the other states? What do we have any data, any precise data to determine what's the present investment in the IT sector in Bengal? Is there any data at the moment?
No, as of now, if you ask me to present the data with those crore investment line by line, I think the data audience can get easily from the net. But the
So I would
brands
like.
I'm
So I would like.
talking about, this
So
is
I
this
know.
they have.
I would like to know the approximate amount of investment. The approximate.
Then also I need to Google it, because I'm not ready as of now to tell such kind of thing. But
Okay,
the
fine, fine.
organizations that we are telling, that is, they say, suppose
Uh,
Adani and others, they are basically have invested a lot here. Okay.
Fine,
So
fine.
IT investment actually can be seen in two aspects, whatever I feel from my experience, and that is
Mm,
much more prominent after this COVID. Earlier, that investment was that you need to procure an office, you need a internet connectivity, and other kind of facilities
mm,
there. Now, in the past 2 years, that such things has been changed. If you see that many companies in Bangalore also, they have even changed they have freed up, they have released their 60 to 70% of the office space. They are planning to meet, say,
mm,
once in a month in a hotel or some other places, which is not possible in
mm,
other sector, but which is possible in IT, particularly in service and products sector. So by doing
mhm,
that, I can tell it that for IT education, look, in IT education, we are doing great. I do not know, but yes, while we go for any debate, name of few cities comes, but while I talk to the students of those places, I don't find they are doing good than our students. It's very
Okay.
much prominent. I mean, education now to the IT. Yes, now you can tell about that the industry and academia gap, and that gap is throughout the country, throughout the world. It's not only for Bengal. Rather, I must say that the gap in Bengal is much lesser as far as IT education is concerned compared to other states. I can tell you because I get students from each and every part of the country in our masters who have done graduations from their respective places, and I'm
Mhm,
much hopeful about that, the kind of graduate we get from our own state compared to the others. So education plan, we are doing excellent. In investment part, yes, a scope of improvement is always there, and I'm sure that both the government, central as well as state, are trying their level best to bring that kind of investment here. But then, as the
yeah, yeah.
IT industry requires a different kind of investment, so like this year, I know that some of my students who got a placement from some of the giant organizations, rather I'm disclosing their name or the name of the organizations to give
Mhm,
additional mileage to either of them. But then they were asked that they can start the company from their place. Only they need to assemble in the office, say, suppose on a periodic basis. So in that case, though, but it like employment opportunities also very high in the state.
Sir, is the IT industry a new path? Since I think that the concept of home office is getting more and more prominent in this sector, isn't it? Following the
Right, right,
COVID-19, the
right.
home office scenario is getting more and more prominent in the IT industry. So, do you think that this is going to make the IT industry, on the whole, more efficient and superior? Since there is no traffic signals in the state, they don't have to come to the office. They can do whatever jobs from the comfort of their homes. So, in that case, the production will be much better, and there should be more speed in the development. Do you think so?
Mr. Chakraborty, thank you very much for raising this question. After like on the 1st January, I'll just take a bit time to why I have given a special thanks for asking me this question. And 1st January, I was interacting with all of my friends throughout the country, particularly as I am in IT and CSC discipline. So my friends since graduation are mostly in this field. So I was taking their viewpoint. Majority of them are serving their companies in India and abroad from their home. So I was just asking them that whether they are enjoying it or not. So firstly, they are telling that they have mentioned what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages of both serving the company from home, making home as their office. But then whenever I was discussing them that the productivity, them unconditionally agreed that the productivity has been increased. Now, then I have asked them that don't they feel that socializing plays a major role in the case of employee retention or productivity or the mental health of the employee? So they told that majority of the giant organizations, they have taken initiative towards that. They are actually asking them to meet on a periodic basis for socializing. So definitely the production efficiency point of view, employees like the companies are getting better. They're getting better throughput output from their employees. Employees who are having, in majority of the cases, I got very positive reply. Only one thing that like some of them told that who are say suppose who are staying whose accommodation like setup is not that much big, and who are in consulting business, so they need to interact their clients, and then sometimes they are a bit hesitant about that, but that is negligible. Majority of the cases, even my students, my friends who are serving their companies from a rural Bengal, they are also very much satisfied. So employee satisfaction is a bit high in majority of the cases. And as per their analysis means, say, suppose some of them are working as a project manager. So under him or her, say, suppose 100 of say juniors are working. So when they see that like whatever output they are getting from their juniors, they are getting more. So that is what.
Certainly.
So I'm sure they are basically they are producing more.
So very favorable and very optimistic and very affirmative environment at present in the IT industry, and that this affirmative picture increases the chance of more investments and further developments. Now, sir, I would like to know
Right.
something from you. Only a few years back, I'm sorry, well, a few days back, while searching through that Facebook, I came across a single comment that attracted me. A few persons were just discussing on the future of IT in Bengal. I learned this comment that one person was stating that subsidizing PCB industries is better for Bengal, since PCB is basic unit of electronic products and not expensive like cheap manufacturing. And number two, just a minute, sir. And mechatronics industries can be set up in Bengal. It shall help Bengal in the long run. Do you think so? Mechatronics industries can be set up in Bengal in the long run.
Look, as I told you that basically while we are going for the IT and electronic industry, there are one is that the service and product part. So suppose what developing the software products or producing services to others. Another part is basically IT that you are talking about, electronics part and others. So that electronics part requires large investment and it's a time consuming. So the initiative has been started based of my knowledge, and definitely in coming years, I hope there will be a great hope also, because the cheap labor is again one advantage is for that. Electronics graduate, if you see that they're being produced from our state nowadays, is basically very good, remarkable. So am I audible? I'm sure you can hear me.
So can you repeat once more, since it freezed from that? Can you repeat once more? Can you state it? Can you say once more?
So I think that yes. So actually that like IT product and services investment for IT product and services companies, and investment for electronics, particularly hardware based companies, like these are two separate things. Investment for hardware, particularly the chip level work, the fabrication IC level, or basically the processor level work, that requires are basically larger in investment, and that basically requires some time also. So I'm sure in coming years, the we'll be having such companies in our state also. We have few. It's not that we do not have, but then I'm expecting few giant to come and to set up their business here also.
Okay. So, sir, if this goes in the right track, are you confident that Bengal is going to be the number one IT destination within the next 5 to 6 years, or maybe within a decade, in the decade
I am very
following?
much confident.
You are very much
I
confident
am
that Bengal is going
very
to be the
much
number one
confident,
IT
Mr.
destination.
Chakraborty.
Yeah.
It's not only, and I'm confident in two aspects. Number one is that whatever you are going to produce, and
Mm,
for our country, for in each and every education, for the growth of the country, the investment in research is more basically important, because if you
mm,
invest now in research, that is going to produce
mm,
in 10 years. The investment in research in Bengal is basically getting the focus of different companies, which is basically again a place of great hope for me particularly. Investment in research by the different IT companies are being made here.
mm,
Some of the giant groups have shown interest to even set up the universities, particularly basically research focused. Like the university where I am serving, those are the research driven university. So if now your state, your country can do better in research, I'm sure 200% sure that in coming days they will be doing good in production also. China is producing cheap electronic products, as because the research that China did a couple of years back was significant. So as Japan. So investment in research, that is also one of the areas that I must mention, that the country, the state, particularly the state leaders, along with the private players, that is in their mind. This is a very good sign for the state.
fine, sir. Now, Mr. Nesar, I would like to know from you, brushing aside political differences or the political clouds and political lines and everything, if we take the government's into consideration, we do hear almost on a daily basis that the state governments of Gujarat, Maharashtra are more business centric than other governments in the Federation of India. So my question is, uh, how do you have, just finding the word, how do you esteem the role of Bengal government? Is it also business centric or professional in this line, or still it has to go a long way again to be more business centric than the past?
Okay, I got your question. Thank you
Mm,
for asking again. I'm for education, for any other sector that you mentioned. To develop, government should be the only one player. I'm just telling it because I'll try to present you some facts, that
mm,
it's the initiative from government as well as from the small and large investors. We must not
mm,
wait for the large investor to invest, but as far as the IT and computer science, IT, this sector is concerned, it doesn't require, at least to produce the services, it's produce the product, it doesn't require much investment. It's not like basically the heavy industries. So as far as the IT sector
mm,
is concerned, it's again a great hope that many such startups came up. I know some of my students who have passed out 10 years back. Now they have recruited 100 plus employees in their organizations who are looking for the students for internship and placement, and which are paid. So definitely this is again one of the good. And if you the name of the state that you have taken, that is also they are having good ecosystem as far as the business is concerned, as because it's not only they are having some of the big player, they are having small industries also that is contributing significantly in the total GDP of the state. So that is also very much promising for our state as far as the my sector is concerned. I do not know about any other industry sector. I'm sure in that sector also
mm,
doing good. But as far as in IT sector is concerned, not only the giant organizations, if you see the sector, and another best part of this part is that you can name a remote city nowadays, even in the post-COVID era. That was actually that was a blessings for particularly in IT sector, because that has opened our eyes that to run IT and limited business, you do not need to come to a city. You can run the business even from the basically rural part. If you go to 100 200 kilometers from away, I know some of them personally who have recruited 10 to 15 such employees, and then they are producing, they're serving companies even in abroad. So this is again, there's a change in ecosystem, and I'm hopeful that in coming years that is going to impact significantly.
Fine. So according to you, the prospect of IT industry is quite bright in Bengal. It's nice for us to know. And at the same time, I would like to know from you, sir, does the state are there enough institutions in the state to back up or to supply all these fine brains out there, or is there the need of more institutions also?
Already we are having already government have taken the initiatives, like the government has allowed private sector, some of these institutions which are primarily technology focused. I'm not going to name them here, but then those are very much prominent. There are few private universities, government universities, central universities, so that is there. We know we have IIT here, ISI here, Triple IT here, Jadavpur University, Calcutta University, IIST. So those are the basically government players. In addition to that, there are few private universities who are doing significantly well in terms of they're getting the grants, research grants from the state central different funding agencies, as well as the abroad. These are significant. I can take reference of my universities also. We are having crores of rupees of investment by the different kind of funding agencies. So I see that definitely, and few other universities are going to set up in next couple of years. I believe that is one or two, like the TCG group who are coming up with a research driven and only research focused in university. There are few others like universities which are coming who are basically focusing on basically research and innovation. So that is
what's of the corporate players and the private industry, private investment in this sector, in this case of universities and technical institutes? What's the role of the corporates? What the role are they playing?
As far as my knowledge goes, like if I take example of TCS, Tata Group, they are basically offering the course in collaboration with many institutions. Already they have started, like particularly in this field of AI or data science, they have already started. Some of the companies are also showing interest to offer joint program, because while you will be offering one degree that needs to be approved by UGC, and for that you need to set up an university. So there may be two different ways. One is that a private player can set up an university. That is what the Chatterjee Group, TCG Group is planning. Another option is that the private player can shake hand of any existing universities, and they can offer joint programs. So many such organizations are there. Reliance is doing such practices. TCS is doing such practices. I'm sure in coming days, few other organizations, because this practice has been started because government did not allow earlier such kind of practices. So now with the NEP 2020 and a little before that, government has opened such kind of options. So now private player are also like planning, because to understand that education is again a very promising investment field. So that also, it's good that some of the giant organizations, they have realized and they have shown their interest, so that I'm sure the state will be benefited in coming days from that.
Certainly. So, I would like to know now the it might be very critical question to you and also to the viewers, but I can't restrain myself from asking it. Is there any dark picture?
Pardon?
Is there any dark picture in this IT industry? Any dark picture?
Dark picture I don't see as of now in a Bengal. You may find my answer is an optimistic. Look, while we are looking for the prospect of an industry, particularly if I'm talking about the IT industry, three factors are like associated. Firstly, whether currently we can produce that adequate, basically the resources who can work or not. So yes, the answer is yes. Industry academia gap is there. That is a problem throughout the globe. It's not only our country. And government is trying its level best, both at the central government level and state government level. They're trying to address that gap. Okay. For modification of syllabus, the teaching pedagogy, those are certain things that need to be incorporated, and that is in place already. Second part is that whether the IT companies are showing their interest to invest in Bengal or not. Yes, here also the answer is yes. Very recently, some of the giant companies came. Now, if you compare, they have invested here X amount, they have invested here Y amount. I think we should not see in that way. Once they have started to invest here, I'm sure in coming days they will invest, because they will be getting the knowledge worker here more compared to other states. Number three is that if you're looking for the future, it's not that they're doing good at the current time, it's doing good in the future also. And here I see a great focus, because almost all the universities, whether private and government, along with all the giant organizations, they have given focus in the research and development here. Majority of the IT giant companies are having research and development cell here. Either they are already have such kind of cells, or they are planning to start. So this is again a very
can you name a few? Can you name a few organizations or players which R&D cells in Bengal? Can you name a few?
Yes, firstly, like basically if I take example of Tata, they are having strong presence here. And the amount of patent and others
the R&D, that was the research and development cell. Okay.
Yes. That is basically Tata. Their cell name is Tata Research and Innovation. Adani Group has already started. They have already started to recruit. Wipro is having one division. TCG Life Sciences are doing such kind of research. So those are the big players. If I name those big players, there are a few other companies also which are not that much big, but then also they have invested in research.
So any foreign giants, sir? Any foreign giant company?
A foreign investment in foreign IBM is not fully they are having mostly in Bangalore, but some of the research oriented, say suppose AI analytics work of IBM has been started here. As far as the product here, like Samsung and other years I can expect they also will have a research hub here, a big research hub here.
They already have, or they're going to set up? So I'm asking you whether they have already.
They have the research.
Pardon,
no,
sir?
the first few names that I have mentioned, they already have, and remaining, I'm hopeful that they are going to start there also, right? Because research hub in India, all those IT companies also were not that much very old. Majority of the IT companies, they had their research hub primarily in their headquarters. So if I take example of Microsoft, initially they had in their, or like in United States only. Later on, while they have seen that availability of the resources, cheap resources, particularly HR resources, so they have started.
So now I would like to move to the national scale. What's the relation and what's the confrontation? I mean, how is the Indian IT industry faring in the international scenario at the moment? How the Indian IT industry on the whole?
Indian IT industry, if I take example, just a couple of weeks back, I got the opportunity to meet the delivery head of East for TCS. He himself came to my university and we had a meeting with them. So I was just asking the same question to him, that at the global level, what are the challenges they are facing? And as all of us, we know that TCS is facing even in across Tata in all sectors. So the answer that I have received that from him is that at the global level, they are only facing some sort of competition from Accenture. Other than that, they are doing good, and that we know also. If you see that the TCS or Wipro employees in other, like basically the on-site, so that is also very remarkable, something to proud of. So
So
if
who is
TCS face at the global range only.
Please carry on. Please say, sir. Please carry on. Carry on, sir. Please say.
If we see that, so we know that TCS is having a strong presence in Bengal. So you can see it in from this perspective also. TCS, IBM, Accenture, they have a strong presence in Bengal. Now at the global, if they are doing good, then we can easily infer that whatever we are producing from that is basically helping them to be prominent at the global level, and that makes me more hopeful about the coming days.
Oh, certainly.
The future of IT.
So who is best in the globe at the moment? Who is best in the world at the moment? The American IT industry.
I didn't get the question.
Which part of the world? I'm sorry, I must say, which IT industry from which country is at the topmost in the whole globe at the moment? The US.
IT industry, service sector. If you take particularly look, there are two aspects. One is product based, another is service based. From the service sector, if you take example, India is doing great. Basically globally. If you are talking about product based, then most of the product based companies are US based. Definitely, we are facing like we are seeing US before us, but I'm sure in coming years that is going to be changed.
So what's of China and the Germany and the other? Please.
No,
yes, sir?
look, IT service and product. If you talk about the electronic product, that is basically the hardware part, then definitely China plays a major role. I'm only considering that the software part.
Okay. So what's of the other European countries?
There are two So for the software part also, there are two basically division. One is service, another is basically developing product. So suppose Microsoft and others, they are known for the product development. They are primarily prominent for the product development, Microsoft, Google, etc. Similarly, if you take example of our Indian-based IT companies, particularly CS, Wipro, they are basically service-based. So service-based industries throughout the globe, India is doing great. For product-based company, IT product-based, IT software product-based, basically US is doing great. And for IT electronic product, if you talk about, then definitely China is much ahead than us.
And so who has greater stakes? I would like to know from who has greater stakes?
In which respect? Basically, in the case of
my question. No, I would like to know, among this service-based, product-based, and the IT technology-based, who holds the maximum influence on the global economy?
TCS.
No, not to TCS, the countries, United States. No, not common. I'm saying the country-wise.
The country-wise, look, there are three different sectors. Now, if you if you merge them, then definitely there are three players globally who are doing three. Not I must take that there are four players. Singapore is also nowadays playing a great role here. So in that sense, India, China, US, and Singapore is four you can.
mention. And so, what's of the other European countries like Germany, and the other players like Britain, France. What's of there? What's of them?
Germany, Britain, they are doing definitely good, but then compared to these three countries, primarily US, China, and India, in the particularly the IT product and services, definitely we are. I think we are doing better than them.
Certainly, certainly. Very fine, sir. It's nice to know. It's a very, very, I think when patriotic Indians will get a lift today to know that our country is ahead in much in a discipline of many countries, especially from the Europe. So, sir, we are on the last part of this interview. It is already almost 1 hour. So, I would like to know, so the last thing is that we have found that lots of prospects are there for Bengal's IT industry, and you do have lots of hope of it too. Now, if I do ask you as a student, when I do read in the newspapers that the other states are making lofty successes in the economies, like hop, skip, and jumps, Bengal is lagging. As a student of IT, so perhaps I am a student of IT is going to read in IT. Do you think that I should stick to Bengal only or not to go any other state in the country? Should I stick to Bengal only?
If you are talking about only IT and CSC field, I don't find any reason to go outside Bengal for education and job as of now. I'm just only sticking to my sector because this is a sector where I'm serving for the last 25 years. So as far as the education is concerned, if you go through different kind of ranking, worldwide ranking or national ranking, our universities are doing great. Even some of the state universities are much ahead than centrally funded IITs and other institutions. This is number one.
Nice to know.
Other than that, yes, I understand everybody cannot get through that institution only, but then the other institutions are also doing great. And as that investment by large organizations, giant organizations, rather, I must say, globally giant organizations have started to invest here. So I think there is no need to go outside of the Bengal as far as the IT and computer science is concerned, for study, for research, and for employability.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for being with us and having a long discussion. We have benefited a lot from your sermons and your wise sayings. I do hope that people who have witnessed this conversation between us, a very humble and ordinary man. I am not a person of IT. I am a person of English literature and mass communications. But since I've been engaged to ask you several questions, I think that my questions have not perturbed you. And I must say that your presence in today's evening has benefited us a lot. It's a matter of elation for us. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us in the show. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
And with this
again for inviting me.
Okay. Thank you. And with this end,
it was a pleasure.
Pardon, sir?
It was a great pleasure and privilege for me also to be here. Yes, only one question, that possibly how much investment was there, X amount or Y amount. Being a teacher, I never thought that such kind of questions may be asked to me. So that is, but I am sure that the audience, or being a journalist, possibly that is important. I understand, and I'm sure that is very much prominent here. But if we see the practice point of view, yes, I see there's a great hope as far as the IT and CS is concerned in our state, both in studies, research, and in investment and employability. So
thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And good night to everybody. Thank you.